Daf Samach Aleph Amud Beis. We'll begin Samach Aleph Amud Aleph, 6 lines from the bottom with the 2 dots. What is considered to be an expert kmeya, an amulet that's considered to be a proven, reliable amulet? The Mishnah said that one is not allowed to go out with a kmeya bizman she'ein min mumcha. So what is the definition of a mumcha that would allow one to go out with a kmeya? In the understanding of why it is mutter to go out wearing a kameya, if it is from a mumcha, so it seems to be from most of the Rishonim that the pshat is that if it's a kameya mumcha, it's proven to work, then it's considered to be a malbush for the chayla. It's considered to be for the person who's sick, who's ill, like a article, an item of his attire. So it's considered wearing, not carrying, and therefore it's mutter for him to go out with it. If it's not min a mumcha, if it's not from an expert, then it's not considered to be a malbush. Since it's not proven to work, it's not considered to be a derech, a malbush, and a derech of lavisha, and it's considered to be carrying. Now, why are we not concerned that even if it is a malbush, that he might take it off and come to carry it? We are concerned by geyser by items of jewelry, etc., or items which are a chatzitza. So Taisus explains on Daf Nun Zayin, Taisus explains that the gezer is only on something that a person would take off to show to a friend, or there'd be a kapeda by it, or there's a chatzitza. But otherwise, we're not concerned by items of clothing. A person is allowed to go out with his clothing. We're not concerned that he'll take off his hat and put it back on and come to carry it, take it off and come to carry it. So therefore, we're not geyser over here either. The Meiri seems to have a different pshat, and he says that if it's a kmeya that's eina min mumcha, there we are concerned that a person might take it off and might come to carry it. Since it's not proven, it's not so reliable, and maybe he's not necessarily going to wear it, and he might come to carry it. And there could be potential nafkaminas la'alocha between these two reasonings. So, I'll go upon him. Tan Rabbanan, Eza Kmeya Mumcha. What is the definition of Kmeya Mumcha? Kol Sharipa Vishana Vishalish. If it was proven 3 times that it worked 3 times. Echad Kmeya Shalksav, whether it's a kmeya that's written, certain types of kmeyas are written on parchment, and they write certain psukim, and have certain things that are written which cure the person from the chayla. Echad Kmeya Shal Ikrin, or whether they're made out of herbs or grasses, they have different types of kmeya. That kmeya as well can be worn if it's a mumcha. Echad chayla sheish by sakana, whether the chayla has a sakana, v'echad chayla sheish by sakana, or if it's not life-threatening, it is mutter as long as it is min mumcha. It's not only if the person is sick, but if there's a reason to believe that the person could become sick, it's also mutter. So, for instance, the example is given by a person who is epileptic, that lav dafka, if he's already fallen, person epileptic, he falls. Not lav dafka if he has already fallen, but if there is, for instance, a history in the family and it's used as a protection to protect that he shouldn't fall, it's also mutter. You can tie it and untie it even in the Rishus Harabim. However, so long as he does not tie it to an item of his jewelry, he does not tie it to a bracelet or to a ring, and that is also mishum maras ayin, because that's maras ayin, as Rashi explains, because people will think that just like the bracelet, just like the ring is jewelry, that this is also jewelry, and they'll come to you wear it in the form of jewelry. Now it's not. The reason that it's mutter to wear it is because for a choila, for a sick person, it's considered to be an item of his attire. It's considered derech malbush, but that's only for a choila. It's not considered to be a tachshit, and therefore you can't attach it to tachshitim, because people will come to think that it is a tachshit and become to wear it and use it even in a place, even in Malkum, where it's not for a choila, and in that case it would be awesome. So the Brisa, the lotion of the Brisa is that Sharipa Vashana Vashilish, which is mashma, even one person if it cured one person 3 times, it's considered min mumcha. Now here it says, called Sharipa Gimel B'nei Adam. It has to be 3 different people to be established as a Kamei Mumcha. It has to be 3 different people. From the Gemara like Kasha, there's a difference in establishing the one who wrote it as an expert, and therefore even other amulets that he wrote, you can wear that, you can rely on it, and it can be worn. Or is the issue to rely on this particular amulet, that this amulet is considered to be mumcha, but a different amulet that the person wrote is not necessarily considered to be a mumcha. Now the Gemara will explain. If a person wrote 3 different kameyas for 3 different people, tlasa zimna, and it healed 3 times each. So this one particular person wrote 3 kameyas, 3 different kameyas, and for 3 different people, and it healed and cured them, all the 3 different people, 3 times. So therefore, in such a case, it's mulchi gavra, v'smalchi kameya. The person who wrote it is established as an expert. He wrote 3 different kameyas, so 3 different types of kameyas he wrote, and it worked, so he's established as an expert. And the kameya in question is considered to be reliable because it healed 3 times. This particular kameya, each one of these 3 are considered to be reliable because it healed 3 times. Tlasa kameya, tlasa gavra, chad zimna. However, if there are 3 different kameyas for 3 different people, but it only was proven 1 time, it only healed 1 time each, gavre smachi, the person who wrote it is established as an expert because he wrote kameyas that work 3 times, but kameya lo yismachi. But the particular kameya has not been proven because each particular kameya only has been proven once to work, not 3 times. And to rely on it, like we say that it's muchsak and as a chazakah, it has to be 3 times, at least 3 times. Chad kameya l'tlasa gavre. If it's 1 kameya, but it's for 3 different people, kameya smachi. This particular kameya has been established because it has worked 3 times, but gavra lo yismachi, but the person has not been established. The one who wrote it has not been established as an expert because he only wrote this 1 kameya. We don't know that if other kameyas that he wrote would be effective as well. Rapapa has a shaila. If there are 3 kameyas for 1 person, so there's 3 different kameyas, but it's for only 1 person, what's the din in such a case? Kameya vada lo yismach. You cannot establish the kameya as being reliable because you didn't have any particular kameya that was worked 3 times that demonstrated that it healed 3 times. But gavre yismach or lo yismach. But do we say that the person who wrote it, has he been established as an expert or not? Mi amrin and ha asile. Do we say, well, the person he wrote 3 kameyas and it worked, so he's established as an expert? Or perhaps no, we won't say it in this case because since it's only for 1 person, perhaps we'll say perhaps we say it's only this particular person who has a particular mazel, and therefore he is more likely to be cured by a kameya. He's more susceptible to the curing of a kameya. But perhaps we cannot establish the one who wrote it as an expert. Perhaps it will not work for other people. Maybe it's only for this person who has this particular mazel. Then it's a tekum. Does the kameya, does it have kedusha? Does it have kedusha like a tefillin, like mezuzah? Does it have this kedusha or not? What's enough kamina? Is it regarding the halach to save it from a fire? If there's a fire, if there's a fire, the Rabbanan allowed taking, even though there's no Erev, to take to a chatzar she'enu reves to save certain items from the fire. Kisei kaidish, they're permitted to save them. Is this in that category, and can it be saved for the fire or not? So Tashma brachos v'kameim sedurim or kameim apal pi sheish mem oisius o manyonis harabesh b'Torah, even though they have letters from the Torah and yonim from the Torah, the ein matzilim noisim nead leika. You cannot save them from the fire. They're not permitted to be saved from the fire, even if they have the psukim from the Torah. They cannot be saved from the fire. So that's not the shaila over here. So that can't be the nafkamina. We say and you have to leave it, and even though they have the psukim and the parshas of the Torah, they have to be left in its place, and Rahman Islam, they're burnt in their place. Ella, what's the shaila in Genisa? Do they have to be buried? Well, it says clearly in the Brisa that if it was written on handles of utensils or on karayamita, on bedposts, you have to cut it off and bury it. So it's clear that it is Toan Genisa. So what's the shaila? Ella, perhaps the shaila is, does it have Kedusha? And is it also to enter into a Beis HaKisei with them, or do we say no? It's permitted to enter into the Beis HaKita bathroom with them. What's Allah? Yesh b'em kedusha v'also oidil ma'in b'em kedusha v'shori. That's the Shai Tashma. We learned v'loi b'kameim b'zman she'em min ha'mumcha. You cannot go out with the kameya if it's not from an expert. If it is from an expert, nafik, you could go out wearing it, you could go out to the street wearing it. Now, if you're going to say that the kameh has kedusha, well, there could be a problem. How could you go out with it? Sometimes a person will have to go to the bathroom. If it has kedusha, he can't go into the bathroom with them. They'll have to remove it and come to carry it. So why should it be mutter to go out with a kameh, even if it is from a mumcham? Where it says no. Hachavai skin is not a raya because hachavai skin b'kameya shel ikrin, because perhaps they had to go out to the Rishus Harabim with the kameyas. Perhaps it's only if the ikrin, if it's herbs, and if only if ikrin, it certainly doesn't have kedusha, so he doesn't have to take it off. But perhaps if it is a kameya for ksav that it does have kedusha, and in Chanami, perhaps you cannot go out with that type of a kameya. Mar says, no, it can't be. We learned the Brisa Echad Kameya Shel Ksav, Echad Kameya Shel Ikrin. It says clearly that it is permitted. If it's a mumcha, then you could go out even if it's Shel Ksav. So you see, we don't have this chashash. Ella, the Gemara says, Hakamaya Skinan B'chayla Sheish Bo Sakana. And Chanami, but perhaps the heter over here is only with a chayla sheish by sakana, and that's why we were mater, we permitted it. But could be any Chanami, if it's a chayla sheish by sakana, you can't go out with it, and for this very reason, because he might take it off before he goes to the Beis HaKisei. Gemara says, no, you can't say that. It says clearly, even if it's a chayla she'ein by sakana, if it's min hamumcha, it's permitted. So don't you see clearly that we're not chaysher shall remove it? Must be that there's no kedusha. Where it says no. The Gemara is suggesting at this point that since it's something that's needed to heal the person, that is something that it cures him, then the chayla goes with this, and he goes with it even carrying in his hand. So it would be considered to be a derech malbush even if he's carrying it. And therefore, perhaps I'll tell you that the kameh does not have kedusha. And in Hanami, if you would go into the Beis HaKisei, you would have to remove it. So why weren't we geyser? And how did we allow a kameh and a mumcha for a person to go out with it? So the Gemara is suggesting at this point, because since it's something that heals and it cures him, it would be considered derech malbush even if he carries it. So therefore, there's no problem. Gemara says you can't say that. About time we learn the Brisa. It says clearly that no, he can go out wearing it, provided that he does not remove it and carrying it, and he cannot carry it dalat amos reshus haram. So you see clearly that carrying it is also. So again, the fact that we allow a person to go out with the kameya that's biksav, doesn't that show you that he does not have to remove it before he goes into the Beis HaKisei, and therefore it doesn't have kedusha? Mar says, no, not a raya. We're talking this heter to go out with the kameya, perhaps it's only if it is covered with leather. It's covered over, it's wrapped around it. So there, he does not have to remove it when he goes into the basic kisei. In that case, it would be mutter to go into the basic kisei with this wrapping, with this covering of or, and therefore he can go in, he doesn't have to remove it. But in a kameya that is not covered, and in Chanami, it would be also to go into the basic kisei because it does have kedusha, and in Chanami, he would be not allowed to wear it and go out with it on Shabbos. What do you mean? You're telling me that covering it with or with skins or with leather would enable the person to go into the basic kisei with it? How could that be? Right? Tefillin, the mechupa or tefillin is the bottom of the tefillin. It's covered with or. The parshias are in the bottom, which is a leather covering. And nevertheless, if a person is wearing tefillin, he has to remove it 4 amas away from the basic kisei before he goes in. So you see that even if parshias are mechupa, are covered with or, it is still also to go into the basic kisei. Our answer is Hasa Mishum Shin. Over there, the Isser is not because of the parashias. The parashias are encased in the bottom, and therefore it would not be a problem to go in the basic kisei. The problem is over there that in the bottom themselves is the formation of the Shem Hashem. You have in the Tefillin Shel Rosh, the letter, the Ois Shin, is folded, and you have the impression of the Ois Shin in the Tefillin Shel Rosh. That you have to have the folds in the bottom. The impression of the letter Shin is halach l'maishem yisina. Vam Rabbi Dalit shel tefillin halach l'maishem yisina. The form of the ois Dalit in the ritzuas of the tefillin shel rosh on the back of the head is halach l'maishem yisina. Vam Rabbi Yud shel tefillin, the form of the letter Yud in the tefillin shel Yad and the ritzuas halach l'maishem yisina. That's halach l'maishem yisina. So you have the oisios of the Shem Hashem, of Shakai, of Shin Daled Yud, and that's why it's also to go into the basic kisei with tefillin. Really, if on account of the parshias, since they're encased in the bottom, they're covered with the leather, that's why it's mutter. It would be mutter to go into the basic kisei with the tefillin. It's only because of the impression and the formation of the letter of the Shem Hashem, letters of the Shem Hashem in the bayas and in the ritzuas, that's why they have to be removed before going to the basic kisei. But if you have a kameya that's covered with or, so even if the parashias do have kedusha, but since it's covered with or, and on the or itself, on the covering, the wrapping itself, there is no Shem Hashem. That's why it's mutter to go into the basic kisei. So really, I'll tell you, the Gemara is saying that the parashias of the kameya do have kedusha, and it would be also to go into the basic kisei. Now, the reason that the Mishnah is matter the kameya min mumcha to go out on Shabbos, we're not concerned that he'll have to go to the bathroom and remove it and come to carry it. The heter of the kameya is only if the kameya is mechupa, it's covered with or. So in that case, he would not have to remove them before going into the basic kisei. So therefore, there is no chashash.